to the finish or the end point, because I think if you handle the process, the byproduct will be success in those areas if you're executing the day in, day out.
How hard is it to teach pass protection? I mean, all these guys, they've all ran, they've all scored, you know.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard, but I will say that you need to. You got to have guys that have a want-to. It's more about the want-to.
Okay,
right? It's more about the want-to. Guys wanting to, not turning it down, not being afraid, and then we morph from developing that mentality I was talking about and not turning it down, and then now you add the technique. You know what I mean? Now you start adding technique with it. Now you start adding defensive recognition. How is this team attacking us?
Right.
And so you start adding those and incorporating those things into a already set mentality of I'm willing and ready to do this, and then it kind of takes care of itself.
Do you need an alpha dog in that room, in the running back room?
I want a bunch of alpha dogs. You know what I mean?
I
want everybody to feel like they are.
Right, but you know what I mean? Where a lot of people say you can have 3 or 4 guys that can get it done, or do you need a guy that's your main dude? Your guy.
I want them all to be a main dude. I want them all to feel like they're main dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just my mentality. That's how I'm gonna coach them. So hopefully that rubs off on them. But I want them to all feel like they dogs. I want them all to feel like they can handle any and every job that's put in front of them.
Right.
So I want a bunch of them. I want them all to be like that, to where I just plug and play.
Right.
And it's no letdown. There's no none of this. There is no like, all right, he's the guy. You're not the guy. It's all of y'all are the guy. It just depends on who out there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Steve Cook, Sikkim Sports.
Also
Pleased to
Coach
meet you.
Juice, yeah.
Okay, so how did Coach Aranda approach you? Did he just say, "Get in the car, we're going to Waco"?
No, I wish it was that simple. Once it happened, it felt like the process, was that, how fast it rolled and got here. But no, just like anywhere else, you kind of, they have names that they vet guys and interview guys, and you start with phone conversations, and then you start with in-person meetings, and just trying to see if the two sides, marry and blend to each other. You know what I mean?
What made you decide this was the place for you?
Yeah, there's a multitude of things. I mean, one is the not only the athletic piece that's in place here and the investment in that, but the academic piece as well. The faith-based piece as well, which is important to me. How the university is going to be ran from top to bottom, and that was relayed from hearing that from Mac Rhodes to Coach Aranda all the way down throughout the program. Also, we got a unique opportunity here with the new staff. Me having some familiarity with the staff that we're putting into place offensively. Knowing kind of some of the philosophy and knowing what we wanted to do that I'm familiar with. And so it really, at the end of the day, once you start thinking about all those things that factored into it, still being in Texas, being able to recruit this great state, you start factoring everything like that. I mean, it kind of became an easy decision.
All right, now, you also had the opportunity to walk into a program, and they graduated a lot of people this year, but you also walked into a program that had 11 wins last year. Most of the time when you come into a new coaching opportunity, it's because you're taking over a program that hasn't had success.
That's correct. And they did a great job last year. They did a great job last year. And I think what we want to do is, take everything that was done, from last year that they did a great job at, and then put our own footprint on and marry and blend, our own philosophy. Because obviously new staff coming in, there's going to be some difference of philosophies here, some things that we're going to want to incorporate, starting with the top down to the bottom with every position coach. And so I think our job here is to take Coach Aranda's vision and implement that throughout the program to kind of, build on what's been here.
Now, Coach Aranda's a lot more low-key than most coaches I've interviewed. Is he that way in private conversations also? I mean, in team meetings?
Yeah, I think Coach Aranda is who he is day in, day out. I mean, there is no this or that. I mean, Coach Aranda's the same person day in through day out. So I think whoever you see and what Coach Aranda gives you, I mean, we're getting the same guy.
Have you had a chance to talk to or see Tay McWilliams yet?
Yes, I have. I've known Tay for a long time through the recruiting process and two different things. So I've known Tay, well before coming here, and as a matter of fact, a bunch of guys that are on roster, before coming here, just naturally recruiting the state and knowing some of the names and the people. So if I had an opportunity, not only with Tay, but other guys that I've known that I've had the opportunity to interact with.
What about Treston Ebner? What are your thoughts on Treston Ebner?
Thoughts?
Just on him, just the way the player he is. I mentioned earlier about alpha dogs, and he has that alpha dog mentality.
No question, he definitely does. And like I said, I don't come into this deal trying to single out this guy is that guy. As I said before, I mean, I got an opinion about all of them, and they're all building their resume based on what they do day in, day out, from what we see. All we can go off of is what we see. Last year is last year. You know what I mean? We're trying to build and morph to a new year. So we tell them day in, day out, just like on any team, what you do the year before has no bearing on how you execute the next year. And so we want them to take what they've done great and keep continuing to build on that and show it day in, day out. But he definitely has that mentality. I think all of them have some of that mentality, and we want them all to have that mentality.
Do you see Ebner? He's got that background as a wide receiver. Do you see him working out of the backfield some?
Yeah, I'm sure. With Coach Fedora's philosophy, our back is going to be asked to catch the ball out of the backfield. Coach Munoz comes from a place where they spread it out. The back caught a lot out of the backfield. So we're sitting in there and we're incorporating ideas, and we're doing a lot of different things to where we're going to ask the back to not only be able to run inside, outside zone, whatever the case may be, but they're going to have to be able to execute catches from any given spot.
You mentioned recruiting in the great state of Texas. What does Texas high school football mean to you? Just Friday night lights.
Man, everything. I played it. I loved it. I lived it. I smelt it. I breathed it. Those big time Friday night games. And then trying to get through area. Those tough battles. Trying to go play. Trying to go play in the Cowboys venue. What I mean? It's a new venue now from when I played. Right. But trying to go play in Jerry's World, and and morphing all that, and so I've made a lot of friends and have a lot of relationships through that. Guys that are high school head coaches now, guys that just know me from my time playing in it, and there's nothing like it.
How awesome is it that you can mention Texas high school football and just get a big smile on your face?
Yeah,
every time I mention it, gets a smile on your face.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
It truly isn't. There's you can't explain it to anybody until they go see it, come see it, and you understand it. Once you live it, you understand it. Nothing like it.
800 miles per
Thanks so much, Coach.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
We do.